Hi guys, Jacob here, welcome to another video, and today we are reviewing this 2022 Mini Cooper S convertible. I'm going to tell you all the good things, I'm going to tell you all the bad things. Unfortunately there won't be a driving review because A, my camera mount has decided to fail on me, and 2, I couldn't find anyone to hold the camera while I was driving. So to be safe, and as I don't want to be one of those YouTubers who films while driving, that part won't be part of the video. However, I can still tell you how it drives, and I can tell you all the things, what it's like living with the car. So let's go around the car, tell you what it has, and let's start the video. So let's start with the front of the car. So this is the 2022 LCI 2 Mini Cooper S. So it's the third generation of the F56 model. I believe in 2013 or 2014 they're bringing out a whole new model. So this is the last generation of this model lineup. Now you know it's the LCI 2 because of this grille. This grille is completely different to the previous generation, but apart from that it's pretty similar from the LCI 1. So why buy a convertible Mini? That's the question. Now it's up to you really. It's mainly for a runabout car. You wouldn't buy this as a daily. This is for when it's a beautiful summer's day and you want to take you and one other person out, and I will explain why one other person. Now you may see 4 seats, but this is definitely not a 4-seater car. I've managed to fit some shorts and a jumper in the back because that's pretty much all you can fit in the back, and I will now demonstrate by trying to get in the back. Now first of all, I am not a tall person. I am only 5'8", and that is the legroom. I can maybe fit a fist in there. Also, because of where the roof goes back, the seats are slanted forward. So if you're sitting in the back, you kind of get pushed forward. It's probably the most uncomfortable experience anywhere. I think these 2 seats are mainly for kids. So if you're a husband and a wife with 2 kids, then it's probably fine. However, if those kids turn above the age of 6, you're going to have problems. Another problem comes with the boot. Now obviously it's a convertible and it's a convertible Mini, and the boot will be shocking, which it is, and I can fit probably a jumper. As you can see, you could probably fit 2 or 3 carry-on bags, so if you're going for like a weekend away, it's probably okay, but it's not perfect. Now of course these rear seats do fold back, but remember you still have this whole roof section which does not move, so you can't fit anything probably bigger than the width of this. Now also it says it can hold up to 80 kilos, so it's a bit like a Range Rover. However, I wouldn't risk sitting on it. I would probably lean on it. I would not sit on it, because if you sit on it, I'm worried it's probably going to snap off. So that's kind of the disadvantages for space being a Mini. But for a weekend car, it's great. Because it's a Mini, the windscreen, unlike other convertibles, is quite short. There's very little windscreen in the car, which means you feel a lot more open air than other convertibles, because most convertible windscreens probably come about to there, and because Minis have like a short stubby windscreen, it makes it feel a lot more spacious inside. So let's go inside and talk about the interior. Now, turn the car on, it's the usual stop-start button from BMW, and you get BMW's brand new entertainment screen. Now, in this version it didn't come with Android Auto, but it did come with Apple CarPlay. I believe they are bringing Android Auto in, but it is a bit annoying. The screen is pretty good to use. As you can see, it's fully touchscreen, or you can use these dials below, which is also rather useful. Now, a few things that they've removed from previous generations of this generation Mini is with my generation Mini, so if you get a 2016 to 2018 car, you can customize this, so this can turn into like a Speedo, or it can turn into green mode. But with this car, it is only a revometer, as you can see, which is fine, but that's all you can have. You can't, I've gone through multiple settings, there's probably a way you can change it, but I couldn't find it. But I do like you can still use this down here, because it makes it so much easier, excuse me, to if you don't want to use the touchscreen and you don't want to make the screen all messy, you can just come down here and use it like that, which I like. Now this is also the new speedometer that Mini have introduced. Now for some strange reason, what I'm really confused with is that you have such a big fuel gauge. Like, why does it have to be that big? Why is it encouraging me to tell me how much fuel I've bloody used? It makes you feel depressed with fuel prices how they are. I would have preferred that to be like a speedo. That would have been nicer, and then like a revometer, a fuel gauge below. Also, in direct sunlight, this screen does become quite difficult to see, so it's something to watch out for. And finally, the temperature gauge is all the way down here, which, unless you put the steering wheel in a really uncomfortable position, aka on your knees, you can't see it. Which, you know, it may be being picky, but it's something that might annoy you. Now, the convertible roof doesn't take too long to come up, and you can bring it up while driving up to, I believe, 20 miles an hour, which is quite useful. And it goes up quite alright, if you ask me. It's quite a nice, relatively okay finish. It's not like the nicest of finish, but it is a convertible roof, so you can't expect miracles. And it does feel like it locks in well, and there's not too much road noise and tyre noise. Even though it's a convertible, it actually hides the sound quite well for a convertible, which is something I was not expecting. Another annoying thing about getting a new generation Mini, but after 2018, is that they've added an OPF filter to the exhaust, which means it doesn't sound that great, and there's no like rumble in the exhaust like earlier generation Cooper S's. There's no pops and bangs, there's no rumbles on the override, so it does feel a little bit artificial. Now if you go really low in the revs, you can kind of hear the rumble, but after 3000 it just sounds like any regular petrol car. It doesn't sound very fruity at all. Now they have tried to help with this by putting a lot more turbo noise into the car. I don't know if you can hear it, probably not, but the turbo flat and the turbo noise is a lot louder to previous generation cars, so maybe they've added a bit more turbo flutter to kind of make up for the lack of noise coming out of the exhaust. Another thing which is annoying me is that the previous generation Mini, the first generation F56, rev matched on the Cooper S and the John Cooper Works, rev matched in near enough in any mode. So in green, mid or sport mode, it would always rev match for you, and for this it only rev matches in sport mode, which is bizarre for me, because even in green mode I want the car to rev match because it makes the clutch and the gearbox last longer. So why it only works in sport mode, I do not know. So overall, it's got some faults. If I was you, I would save the money and buy an older F56 Cooper S, so one from like 2016, 2017 Cooper S convertible. I wouldn't go for the new one. The only thing is there are more modern mod cons in this newer version. However, for £500 you can retrofit the first generation of the F56. So if it's my money, I'd save the money and get an older generation of this version of Mini. However, if you're looking for a brand new car which is fun, involvement and has a great atmosphere, then I would fully recommend the Mini Cooper S convertible, or any of them, or even the John Cooper Works. But for me, I would prefer a hardtop, mainly because in the UK the weather isn't always like this. Most times it's not like this, so to even have a day where it's sunny is quite rare. But if you live in a warm, hot country, like maybe in California, I would think this would be an awesome choice. I hope you enjoy the video, guys, and I'll see you with another one.